Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Adriana. And I want to share with you today a little bit about the empowerment around embodiment and sexuality work that we do. So, for many years, I've been working with women. I began working specifically with them in my living room in Brooklyn, let's see, almost 12 years ago, or maybe 11 years ago. And I've learned so much, even more than like all the meditation and this training and that training, all the things I've learned in my trainings, somatic work and all this like trauma healing and everything. But I've learned so much from people's experience. That's like my favorite thing is to learn from people's experience. And I found that at the root of so much of our disempowerment around things like money, like creativity, like sexuality, like our soul's purpose, so much of the root of it is the idea and the belief that we are broken. That for some reason, the idea that we've absorbed, right? It's like how we can feel like there's something wrong with us just because we bleed every month. If you're a person who menstruates, it's like even that process can feel like, oh, there's something wrong with it, and all the hormones that go along with it and everything that changes within us. And even as a systemic thing and in a whole way, it's like the aging process, everything is just like more things that mean there's something wrong with us that are just so basically human, right? And at the root of it, especially around sexuality, is just this idea that we cannot be sacred and sexual at the same time. The Virgin Mary. And it's like Mary, of course, must have like got her period. Mary menstruated. Like why, and Mary had sex even in the Bible after Jesus was born. So like like and like why couldn't that be a part of the creation story? This like prophet, that was born into this world that like clearly I don't, subscribe to a lot of the beliefs in the Bible, but I value the teachings of Jesus in the essence, like Christ consciousness. Jesus was in the temples, like turning over the tables, saying, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? Like this isn't about money. This isn't like enough money and blood has been shed here. This is about the feeling of the kingdom of heaven within, right? The queendom, the themdom of heaven within us, right? So anyway, I don't need to like get on a whole preach about that because it's not exactly what I'm about, but I think it's important to note that many of us were raised in societies and in cultures where it was just inherently bad that we have a body, that the body was seen as something wrong. And then of course we have like things that go wrong with our bodies. They're limited, that like our minds and our body. Of course, part of health and well-being from my perspective are the things that happen that are actually disturbing to our systems. The things that we experience that are not just in flow and some perfected idea of health. I just don't buy it because I just don't experience it in anybody. And I think it's unattainable and I think it's harmful as a model, right? I think the model of imperfection and of humanness that includes all types of things, including mistakes, including depressions, including anxieties, including in the body breaking down in certain moments to speak into us and through us a deeper truth. No, it's not ideal, right? But as a privileged person that has the ability to kind of take these things on as a way of growing and our own soul's evolution, right? Or even our difficult emotions, right? It's all a part of that. So when it comes to our sexuality, and really learning about the body in this way, that it's spiritual in the sense that it goes beyond the body, but it includes the body. So it's somatic. It means that what you experience in it and the fear and the shame, it comes from the fear of another's projection of the fear, whether it's usually unconscious, right? But it's like when it's like to keep people controlled, that fear has to be there. And it's really just coming from, if we were all in our sacred huge purpose and power, obviously the world would be a different place. If people like you were in charge of everything, obviously the world would be a different place. And that's hopefully what we're here to do, is to make this changes that are the small changes that we can each make within our own lives and within the ways that we serve on others, right? So I just want to share that little quick, bit about, this idea that you're fundamentally broken. And we have this phrase that we've been using for years now, that you're not broken, you're becoming, right? And it's not even just like you're becoming like, oh, later then you'll be okay. It's like, no, now you're becoming right now who you're meant to be. And it's not broken. If you bring anything you experience to the right person, it will make sense to you. I promise. And that's just not, we don't have the language for it yet. We don't have the understanding of our emotions and how our connection to a non-dual state of being, meaning the oneness that we know we are, the inherent sense of connection with all things that we all know we have inside of us, and how that actually can come from us acknowledging the traumatic experiences that our bodies have been through and the ways that we carry those. There's very few mass things out there that are acknowledging both how much sense the things we experience, especially the less desirable things, how they make sense and how they actually can take us into the pure desire that can be our guide for this life, that needs to be your guide for this life, your desire, as something that's sacred and holy. And these are just words, but I've taken people through these experiences and I've been through them myself enough to know that they work, that they're amazing, that the things that you say and in the unknown, in the like, oh, I could feel this, but I don't even know how it's going to come yet. It's like, it doesn't matter. Just staying close to the feeling of knowing within you, of honoring your body as beautiful, no matter how it feels to be, how awkward or how uncomfortable or how self-hating it feels to be in it in certain moments. Knowing that we release those things over and over and over again, the deeper into our embodiment we go. And that the depths that can seem so scary from the outside are just simply because we were taught to fear them. Your power, your pleasure, your passion, right? And we've been taught to inherit things like addiction. So my passion then becomes an addiction. And of course, that's something to fear, because addiction is a really intense, dark force. But in the unraveling of the addictions, the purity of that passion can then go to its rightful place and have its right relationship to the creativity that you're here that you're here to flow to what you're here to create, right? That passion towards like what you're here to do, not even just like for the world, of course, but like for yourself. Like, what do you love to do? And I guarantee you that naturally is going to affect the world around you, because you're going to be more rooted inside of love, and that's what the world needs. And I know you know that. So I'm just saying things that I know you already know. But I just want to, share this kind of notion that you're not broken, that the systems are broken. And we don't have to focus on the broken systems necessarily, unless that's your path. Some of us really do. It doesn't mean we ignore them. Pointing out what's inappropriate, right? And naming what's inappropriate. And then coming back to the only thing we really have command over again and again, which is our own experience, and how that is going to help us wake up to the things that we're ignoring and that we can't see, and the patterns of relationship that we're perpetuating. You, me, not other people. That's the shit that really I've seen make change in people's lives, and then the people that they affect in their life. And then this is how it starts from this deep wound that is completely interwoven with the wisdom that is within you. So that being said, we have such a beautiful way of approaching all this work that's trauma informed, that's also just so honoring of like who you are and what you came here to do. And we have many different ways that you can access this work on bodytemple.church, and many different ways to connect with us that are both just like, without even having to engage with someone like me, that are just like recordings and meditations and just resources that you could just do self-guided. And then we also have this beautiful program that really takes people through. It's this very small, intimate group that really opens up the voice of this blossoming, right? It opens up the voice that's within your heart. It opens up the voice and the relationship, how you relate to your sexuality without even deciding how it should or shouldn't be. Because that's just like a whole other thing. Like you look on Instagram and it's like, well, it should be like this, it shouldn't be like that. It should be like this, it should be like that. And it can help us to have some understanding, right? When we feel understood, we feel free. So it's so important, and relationally, it's so important to feel understood, because everything is just like about being heard. When we feel heard, so much more is possible, right? So that's a piece of it. And then there's just this other piece that can only come from your own experience and your own commitment to getting to understand and know how the relationship to your sexuality is completely connected to your capacity to serve and make money and feel like you're being true to yourself, and how you walk on the earth, how you step in beauty and walk in a greater alignment with your soul's purpose. So, like I said, I know these are words, 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 but the words carry the energy and the meaning of what makes us more and more willing to come into contact with what hurts in certain moments. And especially with the sacred sexuality work, I would say, or just the work around finding right relationship to our sexuality, whatever that means for you, it doesn't really bring stuff up. It's weird because in the mind it feels so scary to kind of be so direct, but the more direct that I feel like we are and I am, the less kind of stuff comes along with it, and it's just this beautiful experience of pleasure, of beauty, of connection. You know, connection is what heals shame. So I'm here if you want to connect, and especially around this opening to, you know, these different dynamics that we experience and all the ways that we can welcome them with support, and how that can change the way things live through us and in our lives. Okay, that's all today, friends. We'll see you soon. And I'm just sending you big hugs, lots of love and blessings for your body. See you soon.